In the first century, some people wondered why God would allow his Messiah to suffer and die. This still troubles some people, including Muslims, who believe that Jesus somehow escaped suffering and death on the cross. But the book of Hebrews explains why this was part of the plan, even though it seems counterintuitive to think that a divine being would allow mortals to beat him up and kill him, and that his Father would just sit around and let it happen. Here's what we read in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 10. In bringing many sons and daughters to glory, it was fitting that God, for whom and through everything exists, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through what he suffered. It was fitting. It was appropriate. Even though he is the creator of everything, it was still appropriate that he suffer and die. And why is that? For starters, it's because God is not just drafting us into his army or trying to get some house pets for the heavenly palace. No, his purpose is that we become his sons and daughters. And as verse 11 says, both the one who makes people holy, that's Jesus, and those who are made holy, that's us. We are all of the same family. So Jesus is not ashamed to call them brothers and sisters. God is the creator. He could make creatures, more angels, if that's what he wanted. But God is doing things the hard way, presumably because that's the only way it can be done. For us to become part of the family, we have to start right where we are, as mortals who can make mistakes and suffer and die. And in order for Jesus to lead us from where we are into the glory of being children of God, he has to become one of us. And that means being able to suffer and die. He is the pioneer of salvation, the one who scouts out the path, who leads others through the best possible path. As our creator, he represents us all, so that when he goes through this path of suffering and death, he can lead us through it as well. And that's why verse 10 said that God made him perfect through what he suffered. He was already imperfect in one sense, of course, but perfect here means fit for a particular task. And although he was morally perfect, he was not qualified to lead us from mortality into glory until he had gone through that path himself. And then we can look at it from the other direction too. If it was necessary for Jesus to suffer and die, we can conclude it is necessary for us to suffer and die as well. God has all the power in the universe to achieve whatever he wants in the best possible way. He wants us in his family so much that Jesus suffered and died for us. If God did not spare his own son, and the son did not spare his own life, we can be sure he's doing the work as efficiently as is possible. We may not understand why we have to suffer this or that, but that doesn't mean there isn't any purpose. It's just that we don't have the perspective to understand it. When we ask, why, Lord? Sometimes we have to admit we just don't know. And sometimes we can't do much to change it. But we can be assured that God's got all the power in the universe, but that this is still the path we have to take. Jesus, the pioneer of our salvation, has gone ahead of us, and he is with us now as we walk through this valley. Sometimes we can't see very far into the future, but we know where he is taking us, into glory. He is making us holy. He is making us so that we are like him, part of the same family, brothers and sisters of Jesus. He is making us holy, fit for the purpose, fit to be children of God.